Welcome to Joy in Our Town. I'm Dolly Velasquez, and with me is Jonathan Moore, who is the director at OKC, or the Oklahoma chapter of Teen Challenge. Welcome to Joy in Our Town.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, today we're going to be talking about substance abuse. And Jonathan, that is quite a problem that many families have been touched with here in everywhere. You know, not only in our state, in our nation. It seems like nobody substance abuse is not a respecter of persons, is it?
No, it's only getting worse, and it's rampant, especially in the Oklahoma City, inner city areas. You know, kids that don't have father figures, you know, just in the family, it's broken families, you know, and people trying to make their, it's really difficult for a family to function without a father and with broken families. So I think that's the beginning of, you know, drug issues in the family. And then it just trickles down to where you have kids that are unsupervised and so forth, you know, so.
But I know also that that's not necessarily the case, that even when the father is present, even when the father is part of the family, the child can still be affected.
Yeah.
And the girl or a son or a daughter can still be affected with substance abuse.
Yeah, I see all different types of cases. You know, you have guys coming from the, you know, perfect Christian home to a perfect just a wrecked home, you know, and divorce and so forth, from all different kinds of sides.
So what does OK Teen Challenge do then when a person comes in and their life has been absolutely devastated by substance abuse?
Well, you know, the word says we're supposed to restore them gently, and because some of these guys, they come from just hard backgrounds. They just come from you know, all kinds of different types of abuses, and you know, being in Teen Challenge is such a change of surroundings. You know, you're used to living your life however you want to, you know, and
how is it different, Jonathan, when they come in to the program?
It's a shock because you know, they have to. It's a really strict routine, so when they come in and not having to rely on that drug or that selfishness and stuff that they used to have, having to, you know, make their bed, comb their hair, whatever. It's just, you know, you're not used to that. You know, the world, if you don't make your bed, the world doesn't care about it. You know, but in Teen Challenge, you know, it's a big deal.
You're sleeping on somebody's couch or out on the streets.
Yeah, and it's just you know, huge change of surroundings, but you know, and they really their flesh, you know, they really fight against it, and because they've been used to living their own life their way for so long, and they've never surrendered. They've never, you know, they've never known even how to. They've just lived their own life, and you know, when they come into Teen Challenge, you know, they see, you know, they start hearing about Jesus, and they start hearing about, you know, and they start learning how to pray. And they start learning, and it's so. That's why it's a year-long program. It takes a while. You know, if you've lived that life for so long, you can't. I mean, it's hard to change overnight. So that's why it's a process.
Jonathan, do some of the students come in and you think, oh my gosh, this student is not going to make it? Because I would imagine everything in their flesh is crying out and saying, I can't do this for a month, let alone for a year.
Right, and that's one of the biggest things that guys, you know, at the end of the year, they say, you know, win by fast, but at the beginning it looks like it's just like 10 years, you know, it's the longest time ever. But once they get, you know, rolling, it goes by fast. It goes by extremely fast. But they, you know, it's, yeah, it takes them a while to get settled in, you know.
And Jonathan, how do you know that OKC Teen Challenge works? How do you know that it can turn a man who's been involved in substance abuse? How do you know that OKC Teen Challenge can turn that person's life around?
Because like you said, I've seen guys come in that I did not think were going to make it, honestly. And when you see someone like that change, when you see, because, my eyes are different than God's eyes, and He sees their heart, and He sees that they can change. Me, I just, do the best I can to point them in the right direction and pray for them and be a good role model. But only God can change somebody. I can't. I'm just, and whenever I see that person that's, and seeing them change slowly and seeing just God work on their heart and just them to pray out and start praying for other people and start, it's the most amazing thing anyone can ever witness.
So how can an addict's life be restored? How can his spiritual life be restored? And are all men that enter into OKC Teen Challenge, are they all Christians? No.
A lot of times when someone seeks out a Christian program, specifically, they have some kind of a family member says, oh, a family member's a Christian and they want their son to, have a faith-based type program. So they'll seek out Teen Challenge because we are probably one of the, a faith-based program. So, but when they come in, I would say a good number don't truly believe in the power of God, and they truly don't believe in God. I would say more than half. And like I said, when you start seeing miracles in guys' lives, when you start seeing healings, we had a gentleman that was healed of hepatitis C recently, and we even have the paperwork that says that he was positive. And he's completely healed. When guys come in and they don't believe and stuff like that starts happening, I mean, you can't deny it.
Hello.
Yeah. So it's just, and I like to challenge people, especially when they first come in. You can't, if you go through the program, you're here for a year and you do everything that you're supposed to, it's going to be really difficult for you to deny the power of God, excuse me.
And when, Jonathan, do you start seeing that turnaround? And, from the guys that are saying, I'm out of here. It was a huge mistake. I need to go out and use. When do you start seeing a turnaround in their lives?
It varies. It just depends on the person, I feel, because it's different with each student. I was a graduate of the program a long time ago, and it took me the whole year. I'm a little hard-headed.
You were one of those guys that said, "Not sure Jonathan's going to make it."
Yeah.
And you did.
And I did.
And here you are, the director. Who would have thought?
Yeah, only God can do something like that. And it's through the power of Jesus Christ. And I feel, I owe it all to Him.
So He's the one, the Lord is the one that once He comes in, you can't do it. Man can't do it. You're saying that Jesus is the one that absolutely restores everything in that person.
Yeah, and it's plainly to see.
Now, part of recovery from substance abuse is after the program. How do you prepare men then to enter into regular life?
It's a good question. In my 6 years of working for Teen Challenge, I've never seen somebody not have a plan after they graduate. But we really want to have them have a good exit strategy or exit plan when they leave. As far as they're supposed to, get lined out in the church. They're supposed to have a job and everything lined out. If we need to help them with, fill out grants for school or just whatever it is, and we get them. Lined out to what, so they can be more successful. Because it's stressed out when you come into Teen Challenge. We don't want them stressed out when they leave, So it's, we make the process as easy as possible for when they leave.
So what is the difference between a brand new student that comes in and a student that's about to finish the year-long program?
The student that's about to finish, he's the mentor to the younger student. He's the person that gets to help him because he was in the same situation as they were. And so there's, I mean, 100% of the time, whenever a student's been here that long, they start becoming a leader. And I don't even have to worry about the newer students because I know the senior students will be able to help out the guys that when they first come in, because it's a huge change of surrounding. It can be really stressful for somebody. Mm-hmm. But when they become leaders, they become Christian leaders, and they get to lead that new student coming in.
Now, when you talk about recovery, a rehab or recovery program, sometimes it's like 6 weeks or 2 months or 3 months. Why do you feel that it needs to be a year long? And that's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
What do you say to a person and say, come invest a year in this program to get whole?
Well, we have guys that have been out using drugs for 20 years, and to say that 6 weeks, will help them and I'm not saying God can't work in that time, but we all have these character flaws that we need to iron out, whether it be anger issues, whether it be whatever it is, so yeah.
It just takes a while. I sort of liken it to a woman, who's birthed a child and they've carried that child for 9 months. It takes a process. And being a woman, sometimes you think, well, my body's going to go right back.
Right.
And sometimes it takes a little longer for the body to be restored. And I guess in order to get all those chemicals and all that substance out of your brain, out of your
right.
system, it's going to take a while.
Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it takes a while for someone even to be able to articulate a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it really to really get, like you said, all of that, your brain clear and everything. It does take a while.
Now, people can find more information. You have a website, and it's full of testimonies. It has all information on this OKC Teen Challenge. What is that website?
okteenchallenge.com.
With less than a minute left, what would you say, as the director of OKC Teen Challenge, what would you say is one of the neatest things that you get to do?
Like I talked to just a second ago, watching lives being transformed by the power of Jesus Christ is one of the greatest things you will ever witness. Watching somebody who had just thought his life was over, it was totally meaningless, and wanted to die, to be in that pit and to come out and now be just totally transformed, have their family back, have their kids back, have their family in their lives again. It's the greatest thing in the world.
There is hope. Jesus is that hope. We'll be right back with more of Joy in Our Town. Thank you so much